Tom was 13 when the quiet war inside his home finally ended. His parents' marriage had been dying for years, not through fighting, but through something quieter, something harder to fix: disappointment. His father was a small-town mechanic, a man of simple rhythms: work, home, TV, cheap beer, local news, reruns, sleep. A man whose life ended at the edge of his armchair. His mother wanted more, or at least something. And in a place like Vinton, Ohio, ambition stood out. So did the man she worked for, a local businessman who dressed too well for a town that small. Admiration turned into attention. Attention turned into escape. One morning she was gone. Tom stayed with his father. In towns like theirs, divorce traveled faster than weather. Whispers, looks, teachers pretending to be concerned, adults pretending not to judge, and the kids at school, they smelled weakness like blood in the water. The bullying was never dramatic, no beatings, no confrontations, just the slow erosion of confidence. A nickname here, a shove there, laughter behind him, silence in front of him, the constant feeling that he didn't belong anywhere. But there were places where things made sense: old engines, cold tools, broken radios. Machines didn't whisper, they didn't laugh, they didn't leave. They behaved exactly as they were built to behave. His grandfather, one of the old guard of the town's fading radio hobbyist club, noticed the spark in him early. The old man handed Tom his first receiver, a battered Hallicrafters SX-110, smelling of warm dust and glowing tubes. He taught Tom how to chase signals through static, how to tune antennas by ear, how to listen for faint voices slipping across state lines in the dead of night. To Tom, his grandfather wasn't just family, he was structure, certainty, gravity, the closest thing to an authority that never disappointed him. And for the first time, the world felt quiet, manageable, understandable. Machines made sense, people didn't. His grandfather died the summer Tom turned 16. The loss carved a hollow space in him that never closed. 1 week they were adjusting coils together. The next, the old man couldn't stand. Tom spent those final days beside the bed, describing new signals he'd heard. The old man would smile faintly, offer gentle corrections, even when he could barely lift his hands. And then he was gone. The world didn't stop. Life didn't pause. But his father did. Grief pushed him deeper into the armchair, deeper into the glow of the TV, deeper into bottles that emptied faster than Tom could count. By the time Tom was 24, hospital machines were doing more work than his father's organs. The paperwork said liver failure, but Tom knew the truth. His father had given up long before the cancer finished the job. No dramatic last words, no confession, just a quiet exhale, and the long, humming silence of a room without him. After the funeral, Tom packed what mattered: his grandfather's receiver, his tools, his notebooks. Then he moved into a smaller place on the edge of town, half workshop, half home. Fluorescent hum, radio static, solitude. Tom lived the way he worked, quietly, methodically, alone. After high school, he enrolled at Buckeye Hills Career Center to study electronics technology. Soldering circuits, diagnostics, bench repairs. That's where he met Ryan Miller. Not quite a friend, but close enough. Ryan talked in half-finished sentences, hands always sketching invisible diagrams. They didn't hang out socially, but they understood each other. Ryan pushed him to continue at Rio Grande Community College. Tom resisted, but Ryan insisted, so Tom went, quietly, always sitting beside him. After graduation, both applied to rural comm network services. Ryan didn't get the job. Tom did. Night shifts suited him. Dark roads, remote junction boxes humming in the woods, empty gravel pull-offs lit by a single LED headlamp. His work truck, a white Ford F-250 Super Duty, always smelled like dielectric grease and old coffee. He carried a Fluke multimeter, a Harris butt set, Klein drivers, an Anritsu Sightmaster, and at home his workshop glowed with a Hakko soldering station, a Tektronix oscilloscope, an MFJ analyzer, cables, and his pride, the ICOM IC7300. His personal car was a tired 1999 Toyota Tacoma, rust creeping along the arches, but it always started. Sometimes Ryan sent messages, weird propagation logs, odd anomalies. Ever pick up anything strange on Vinton Ridge? There's stories. Tom ignored them until the night he couldn't. The first signal. It happened at 2:44 a.m. No moon, no wind, the kind of silence that feels heavier than the dark. Tom had just finished repairing a cabinet off County Road 12 when his handheld radio let out a metallic chirp. Sharp, artificial. He climbed into the truck, powered up the ICOM, and watched the waterfall blur with color. There, near the band edge, a pulse, 3 short bursts, a pause, 2 long, a faint harmonic whisper beneath it, like someone speaking underwater. He tried triangulating with the Anritsu, but the bearing drifted, north, northeast, west, as if the signal didn't obey physical space. Then it vanished. Clean, instant, like someone turned it off. He called Ryan at sunrise and said, "Let's meet at McClure's now." Ryan arrived with messy hair and an old laptop. Tom explained everything. Ryan listened, typing quickly. "Ionospheric skip?" Ryan asked Tom. "Definitely no. Tropospheric ducting? Wrong conditions. Sporadic E? Not this time of year. Old military activity? They shut that down years ago. 3 devices failing at once? Impossible." Ryan leaned back. "Signals like that only show up when certain natural and artificial cycles line up. Last night hit all the conditions." He closed his laptop. "If it happens again, don't go alone." 2 nights later, the sheriff's office lost all phone lines. Lights flickered. Emergency radios hissed with static that didn't belong on the channel. They had Tom's personal number. They used it. When he arrived, Sheriff Dalton stood over the desk, face pale, watching the radio sputter nonsense. Tom connected his analyzer. Everything froze. Lights dimmed. The radio hissed. The temperature dropped. 3 short pulses. 2 long. Then everything in the office died at once. Dalton stared at Tom. "Fix it. And don't mention this outside this room." His tone said more than the words. 2 days later, Tom still couldn't let it go. Why only the sheriff's office? Why not the fire station? The trucking company, the clinic, no errors, no logs, no explanation. Either the sheriff was targeted or someone wiped the evidence everywhere else. By the second evening, he cracked. He texted Ryan, "It's coming back." "I can feel it." Ryan replied instantly, "If it happens, call me. I'm coming." The night of the disappearance. His next night shift began at 10. At 10:47, dispatch called. Outage on County Road 12. Same cabinet as last time. Tom drove into the dark. Ryan arrived minutes later with a backpack full of gear. "No way I'm missing this." They opened the cabinet. Same voltage drops, same overheating. Then the chirp, sharper this time, stronger. "It's directional," Ryan whispered. "North-northeast." They stepped into the trees. The forest was unnaturally still. Stronger. Stronger. Ryan tracked the signal quietly. Then the air changed. A low-frequency pressure rolled through the clearing, a tightening behind Tom's eyes. He staggered. Ryan didn't. He stepped forward, then again, like he was following something only he could hear. "Ryan, stop." Tom grabbed his sleeve. Ryan didn't react. Then the signal spiked. A burst so sharp Tom's equipment cracked and died. Light warped around them. The air shimmered like heat, but freezing cold. A distortion bent the space between the trees and snapped. Silence. Ryan was gone. No sound, no struggle, just absence. His analyzer lay on the ground, footprints ending in nothing. Tom dialed 911 with shaking hands. "I need the sheriff. Now." Moments later, blue flashes cut through the darkness. The sheriff had arrived. Dalton stepped out looking as if he'd seen this before. "Show me." Tom led him into the clearing. Dalton crouched by the warm scorch on the ground. A deputy whispered, "Same temperature as last time." Dalton glared. "Quiet." They scanned the trees with thermal units. The screens flickered with ionization pockets, bright rings floating in the air. Dalton pulled out a black unbranded device, something not standard issue, something not meant for public eyes. He swept it across the clearing. It beeped 3 times, then once. Then a long rising tone. Dalton closed his eyes briefly. "Great." Tom stared. "What does that mean?" Dalton stood. "It means you're going home." What came next felt even stranger. For days Tom was interrogated. "You were tired. You imagined it." He walked off. "You panicked. You're hiding something." But whenever Tom mentioned the exact pulse pattern, 3 short, 2 long, Dalton's jaw tightened. A deputy always left the room. Someone was being informed. Whispers followed Tom everywhere. He became the last person to see Ryan alive. Dispatch kept him away from people, away from town, away from questions. The final signal. At 2:44 a.m., the ICOM IC 7300 powered on by itself. No button pressed, it simply activated. A narrow, bright line formed on the waterfall display. Steady, unnatural. Then it pulsed, 3 short bursts, too long. A harmonic rose beneath it, something too complex for human transmitters. Tom leaned closer. A voice emerged through distortion. Tom. The waveform twisted, fighting the limits of the receiver. Don't look for me. The signal shifted, a Doppler curve matching something moving far overhead. They hear you. Then a burst of energy hit the room. Every screen, every light, every device died at once. Darkness swallowed the workshop. Only the faint smell of ionized air remained. Tom sat frozen. Ryan was alive, somewhere beyond the places people knew, and whatever took him was now listening.